What is up, guys? This is Justin, aka FMDigi, and I'm here to introduce you to my new updated United States 10-tier ProRel database. Been excited to do this. Released the 9-tier one a little bit ago, but in talking with some people and looking at the amount of teams that SI added to the game this year in the United States, it only made sense to add another tier. So I've done the work. I want to show you. I'm excited. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back. As you can see, I'm on the awesome site Passion for FM right now. You can go to this site. I will have it linked down below, and you can check it out. I've updated to say level 10. I do need to get this updated. The graphic still says 9 tier, but it's now 10, so trust me on that. But going down here, we can kind of, I'm not going to read this to you, but we do have 10 tiers of teams here, all the way down to the regional leagues, and we have 12 leagues inside of that regional league bracket, if you will. And the way that I'll kind of show you this a little bit more as we get into the game. But you can see we have a lot of teams, a lot of tiers, a couple of cups. But if you wanted to download it, you can go right down here. You can download just directly, or if you want to do it from Steam, click this, get there. You can see it here. You can download it already. Several people have. I'm super excited about that. Or if you wanted to, you could just go straight to the Steam workshop as well. Look up US 10 tier and you'll find me. Also, you can check out my website, fmdigi.cc. You can find it over here on the FM databases tab. I have it here listed 10 tier. Also, I did include a logo pack as well, which we'll see when we get into the game, just for the leagues. It's only for leagues. I'm not a graphics guy, but I did manage to put these together with my minimal experience with how to do graphics. So I'm excited to share both of those with you. And then I also still do have my 9-tier options here, as well as my North American CONCACAF Champions League file, which is very cool to play with. You'll see that because I include it in all of my saves. But yes, that is where to find the databases. Again, you can go to Passion for FM site. Espen has been so awesome to let me put this up here. I'm super excited about it. Go here, you can read about it, you can download it, as well as the logo packs and the Champions League update. Go to Steam or go to my own website. They will all work. They all get you the files you want. Okay, here we are. We've downloaded it. You've put it into the right file, the right folder by reading the instructions. It goes into your My Documents, Sports Interactive, Football Manager 2021, and then inside the editor data folder is where you'll drop the FMF file that gets downloaded. So here we are. As you can see, my most recent save, Chandler FC. If you're not watching, great series. I'm excited to share that, which was built off my 9-tier database. So I actually kind of wish I waited a little bit, because this database I'm more excited about. So you're going to go in here, you're going to start a new game, pick career. You're going to hit this up in the top right here, database, and you're going to pick which one you want. I'm not going to pick Chandler FC because I'm not going to do it. CONCACAF Champions League, I always include that in my US games I play. And then we have here 10 tier and 9 tier. So I'm going to pick the 10 tier one, confirm that, and then go down here and click Advanced Setup. This is the same for setting up any kind of a custom database. You're going to do the same thing whether you're doing anything from me or anyone from any of the other awesome creators out there. We're just going to stick with the United States only, and it will default to the bottom tier. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, you can just go click this thing and do that yourself. You can set this up down here however you want. I do highly suggest clicking add players to playable teams, because we have 651 teams in here, and majority of them do not have any in-game players included in the game. So do select that, or else you're going to have a bunch of grayed out players. So do that, and then the rest of these at your whim. You can choose over here any of these dates to choose from. It does mimic the English system, so it starts in June, finishes in May. So yeah, you can do that. If for whatever reason this isn't filled out and you go ahead and hit start game, it will error on you and crash the game. So please make sure you've at least chosen one of these 3 dates here. We'll go ahead with the early one and get into start game. All right, once the game gets set up, you will be taken to the screen. I will tell you it took a couple of minutes. Your computer may be better or worse than mine. Mine's kind of middle of the road, but takes a couple minutes, so go get a glass of water, go get a snack, do whatever, but come back. You will be brought to the screen with your manager, head coach here chosen, or you can create one. Do whatever you like. You know what you're doing. Play the game how you want. Here you go. You can choose what team to coach. You can pick the leagues. So here you can pick any of these leagues. We have so many, and I will go over them. I'm going to start unemployed in this example just to kind of give you a feel around without having to do the pregame interview office stuff. All right, you've landed. You finished it. You're in the game now. This is the screen you're going to see. One thing there is, and I mentioned this in the intro to the Tier 10 database, is there's a lot of open coaching opportunities because a lot of these lower league teams do not have any managers. So that could be you if you choose. If not, they'll fill in with about a week or so. But let's get into how they look. We can start here. I can see Inter Miami is without a coach, and that's kind of on me. When you first develop the game, you will see Inter Miami and then Nashville in the championship. Both had to be added manually to the game in my thing, so that way they're playable. Otherwise, if I left the default options that were given by FM, they're actually not playable until the second year, which is weird. I'm not sure why. They're somehow hard-coded, tied into the MLS, which is gone. I deleted it from the database, so bye. But to make them playable, I had to duplicate the teams, and some of the coaches didn't stay, even though I did put a coach in there. I'm not sure if I did it wrong or what, but whatever. You can play them to your heart's content, which is good. So you can see here we've landed on the United States Premier League. This is a 20-team league, and I did take out any Canadian teams, more so because I figured this is the United States. We have United States teams. I have plenty of teams already, so I'm just going to fill it with those. As far as what happens with the Canadian teams, I'm not sure. There are Canadian databases you can install, a lot of great ones, which we'll take those into consideration. But yes, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, those teams are not playable in this version of the database. So what we have here is the 20 best teams in terms of reputation in the United States. Reputation is assigned by FM at the beginning of the game. You can find it in the pregame editor. I also have done a video about that linked below. So what I've done is I have sorted every single team, all 651, by reputation. I mean, some of them have the same reputation of 1, and so they all fit into the bottom tiers, but they are not in the game. They're in the game mostly. There are some exceptions. There were some weird duplicates, which if you wander in the editor, you will see there are a few teams of like 4,000 reputation that didn't make it into the cut, and that's because they were a newer version of an older team, if that makes sense. So there's 2 versions of the team in the FM database for some reason. So I didn't include those second ones. So here we have our teams. You can see the rules will be set up. I did do this to mimic English Premier League and all of that. So a lot of the prize money, which apparently you can't see, only the first and then the last 3. So weird. I'm not sure why that does that. Oh, hope they get prize money that year. Interesting. I tested that and I thought those worked, but they may not show up until after. But we do have the bottom 3 teams getting relegated to the championship. There is a parachute payment in here of 32 million pounds. Kind of the same rules. The squads are allowed 10 foreign players, 25 team size, and here's your transfer windows here. Squad registration and the transfer windows here. Any team in North America is considered non-foreign, so Mexican nationals, Canadian nationals, Nicaraguan nationals can all play here. without being considered foreign. And then other than that, bringing European players, they will use up a foreign spot. Also do have rules in here. Only no more than four loan players, and don't have any foreign rules in this league, but other leagues we do. You can see this awesome logo right here. I made that. So yeah, pat on my back. We will get down into the championship where we have the champion and then the runner-up both get promoted, and then a 4-team playoff to get the third promotion spot. And the bottom 3 teams will get relegated into League One. Rules are kind of similar in terms of that. We do have one more loanee player, and then we do want you to have at least 2 under 22 players in the starting 11, and then 2 players trained by the club also in the starting 11. Reason being, I'm trying to push United States as to be a force, and to do that, we need more United States-based players, more youth players getting playing time. So in the championship, you do have to do that. So you'll see that kind of as you play. And again, payouts are right here. We'll go over now to League One, and I'll kind of run through these relatively quick. I'm not going to take up your whole day. There's plenty of other YouTube videos to watch. Top 2 get promoted, and then another playoff, and then 4 get relegated. League 2, top 3 get promoted, and then there's a 16 playoff for the 4th spot. Bottom 2 get relegated. This is essentially the football league, if you will. Same for UK. You're going to have here, this will be your football league. Then you'll go into the United States National League Premier. This is tier number 5, and the top team gets promoted, and then the next 6 are in a playoff for 1 spot. 3 get relegated. Then we go into the National League Division 1. Top 2 get promoted. Next 6 go. Same 3 on the relegation. National League Division 2. We have 2 get promoted. 6 teams go into for 1 spot. And then 5 get relegated out into what we are calling the United States lower leagues. So here's 4 teams here, regionalized, so at least travel costs will be a little bit diminished. So there's 4 different leagues inside of the United States lower leagues here, where the first team, the champions, get promoted. The next 2 in each division form 8, and those go into a playoff. So that I can't remember. So that they get promoted up there. I'm going to check my notes over here. So 8 teams go in, 1 gets promoted from that. And so there's, like I said, there's 4 leagues in this United States lower league kind of tier. You have I'll go back to this. You have your Northern, Central, Southern, and Western Premier Leagues. And they're filled with teams, 22 teams in that. And each of them will have 4 relegations. Then we will slip down into the national lower leagues, in which there's 6 teams here. Again, the champion gets promoted, the runner-up gets promoted, and then each of these teams, we have 18 teams in total. There's 6 leagues inside the national lower leagues. This was the 9th. This is the 9th tier. This was the bottom of my my original pyramid. And then these 3 teams from each of the 6 leagues becoming 18. We will promote 4 of those up. So that's how the promotion works. And then 3 from each get relegated into the 10th tier, the new 10th tier. So we will go down here. You see Atlantic, Central, Mountain, Pacific, Southern National League, Valley National League, and then we get into the 10th tier, which is just the regional leagues. This is where the real meat and potatoes happen. There's so many teams in these leagues. They can have anywhere from 22 to 24 teams, and they are regional, like I mentioned before. So they'll slide into the correct region for the most part. I mean, there may be some instances where a bunch of teams from one region will get relegated down, and the game will try to move them around accordingly. But in all my simulations, you don't see a team from California in a league with teams from New York. Hopefully that doesn't happen for you. If it does, I'm sorry. I have worked pretty hard on getting that to work and done a lot of testing. So here we have the regional leagues. There are 12 leagues in here. So the champion of each league gets promoted, and then the next 2 from each league get put into a playoff of 24 teams, and of that we promote 6 teams up. So that gives you 6 plus the 12, so that gives 18 windows to get back into up into the 9th tier of the regional leagues. So plenty of football to be played. We can go through these. I guess I should have read them to you. So we have your Atlantic League, California League, Eastern League, Florida State League, the Mid-Atlantic League, Midwest League, Northwestern League, Panhandle League, Southern California League, Southern League, and Southwestern League. And then lastly, the Texas League, I believe, to close it out. Yes. Okay, you saw a teaser there. We do have cups, and I have worked super hard on this. We have the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, which does exist in real life, but I did have to recreate it, so this is not the same version of the one in the game. So what this does is it allows almost every team to play in this cup. It does take every team from the top 9 tiers and put it into the cup, and then it takes 16 clubs from each of the 10th tier leagues. So 16 times 12, I can't math, but you can do that. So basically 16 out of the 22 to 24 teams in every one of the tier 10 leagues is in this. Okay, here you can see the kind of competition stages, and there is a lot of stages in here. But we will get into this. I'm going to have my notes over on this other screen so that I can kind of walk you through. Inside the first preliminary round will be those 12 times 16 teams from the tier 10. That's 192 clubs. They will go against each other in through the first preliminary round, second, third, fourth, until we get to the first qualifying round, in which we will add in 220 other teams from the tier 9 and 8 leagues. So that's where those guys come in. So these guys wean themselves down from 192 all the way to 24. I'm sorry, to 12. No, 24, sorry. Let me math here. They get down to 24 teams from the 10th tier, continue on playing right here. And then this is where teams from the 8th and 9th tier come in, and they will play they will play in this first qualifying round. And then the second qualifying round, we have additional teams from the 7th and 6th tiers come in. There's 44 of those added in. They will play through so all of those teams will continue on here until we get to the 4th qualifying round. This is where the teams from the 5th tier, the United States National League Premier, will enter in. So they will enter into this round right here. And then the first round proper, if you will, is where the League 1 and League 2 clubs enter in to the tournament. All of them will now play into the second round, and then the third round is where the Championship and the Premier League clubs wander their way into the thing, and then we finish it up. 4th round, 5th round, I can't get to it, quarterfinal, semifinal, and final, all to be played there, and there's tons of money in here, so there's a ton of rounds here. I know it's kind of confusing, but it's the way to get it to mimic the English way as most I can. In my 9-tier one, I just slammed them in there, let the game figure it out, and everyone entered in the first 2 rounds depending on reputation. Now at least they enter in a more of a way that makes sense. You still run into situations where a tier 10 team can play a Premier League side, but they have to win a lot of games to get there. So it makes it fun. It makes a fun trip up there. Go here to the profile. I don't really have any examples to show you, but yes, usually it's won by a Premier League side. We will get into the next cup, which is the United States League Cup, which is kind of like the Carabao Cup, if you will. And that one is only open to teams in the Football League, which I consider to be the Premier League, Championship, Leagues 1 and 2. So those are 92 teams that get into there, and they have and the way that works is the top or the lowest 70 teams get put into 35 matches in the first round. Those teams advance into the second. Those winners of those teams advance into the second round. And from there, they're joined with 15 more clubs from the bottom 15 of the Premier League, essentially. And those winners will advance into the third round, where they will get the top 7 teams in the Premier League. And from there on, it's just a standard cup format. We also have another cup for you, the National Cup. And this is one For tiers 5 through 7, it is United States National League Premier, United States National League Division 1 and Division 2. So those teams all get put into here. We'll look at the rules for that one. I know this is a lot of cup information, but I wanted each team to be able to have the opportunity to play in a cup, at least one. And you'll see here. So the first round will have the worst 8 teams. So they will play 4 games, and then they will advance into the second round, in which the other 60 teams will come in. So 68 teams total, and then they will advance to the cup as normal. There's a little bit of prize money in here, so that's nice. And then lastly, we have the vase, the FA vase. And this is the FA vase is for leagues 8 through 10. It is every single club in there. It's 491 of them, and I did let the game kind of sort this out, so I can't, my brain won't work anymore. So the way they do is they enter in according to the rules here. So majority of them come into the first round. We have 470 teams come in in the first round to play 235 matches. Those 235 winners advance to the second round and joined by another 21 teams. And then the rest of them just filter through. But this way, every single team in the United States football pyramid is in a tournament or a cup of some kind. So I'm excited for this. This is something that I didn't have in Chandler. If you're following my Chandler FC Save, I am in season number 4, and I finally got into a cup. So I'm excited that now everyone can get into a cup. I saw this as a real big gaping hole in my Tier 9 database. And like I said, in addition, SI did include many more clubs in the United States. Some of those clubs have reached out to me and said, "Hey, am I in the game?" I said, No. And then I figured out, well, you are in the game. You're just not playable. So I've added this extra tier. So there it is. There is the 10-tier database that I've created for the United States. I'm super proud of this. I've done a lot of simulations, a lot of testing, so hopefully everything works out well. One thing that I would like to mention is that I have done many tests, as I just mentioned, but the United States does get pretty high up in the world rankings. I've seen them win the World Cup. I've seen them, kind of average into the 5th place in terms of world rankings. So that's the goal of this. I want to make United States soccer, football better. And I feel like this kind of does it. I wish they would do pro rel in real life, because it's more exciting, gives more opportunities. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out, listening to me ramble about this. I'm super excited to share it with you. Links are all down below that I've mentioned. I'm excited to get this out in the hands of everyone. And if you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in the comments of this, hit me up on Steam in the comments. I'm trying to keep everything open so that I can talk to whomever. And I've talked to many of you already regarding this, but any questions, anything, I can kind of help walk you through. But I do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.